What does the term GIF mean to you? It's not a shortened form of the word giraffe. A GIF, although it sounds like it could be. That would work, huh? The GIF. I wrote a GIF today. Yeah. Or how about this? GIF. What does that stand? What does that mean to you? Anything? Well, to those who work with the web, a GIF or a GIF is a format that can animate an image. And even though it's limited, Photoshop Elements here has something built into it to where you can create an animated GIF for use with the web. So let me show you how to do that. First, let's go into View and Organize Pictures, Photos. Yeah. I think I'm out of my coffee. Out of my coffee. Can you believe it? I need to go get another one. But I still have caffeine in the system, so don't worry. It shall be an animated lesson dealing with animated GIF still, because the caffeine has not escaped. I'm holding it in. I'm holding it captive. It only leaves when I say it leaves. That's right. Alright. Now, in order to create an animated GIF it's an animation. It makes something look like, how do I describe it? Like it's moving. Like you have one picture of a guy in a running position here, another picture he's a step forward, another picture he's jumping, another picture, and it just rotates through those pictures very quickly, which is how an animation works, and it looks like the guy is moving. So, what you need in order to create this is an image that has multiple layers, and each of those layers is going to be a frame. Alright? So let's go into this guy here. This should be in your samples folder. And we're going to pull him into Standard Edit. Yeah. Makes it so much easier with modern day equipment, even for the common consumer like this, to create something that's animated looking. Alright. So conveniently here, look through our layers. There's all sorts of different pictures of this guy doing things, and they all look like they're very close. Now notice none of them are visible except the first one, because if you made them all visible, they're going to all overlap. See? And it's going to get one big smudge mark. So that's why it may have defaulted to just this one eye to mark this layer visible. Alright, so it's very simple. Now, if you go to File, Save for Web. And once you pick this, let me minimize this a little bit so you can see it better. Alright. Notice how it says save an image to include in a web page. Alright. And these are the image previews. Now, there's different presets and a few complicated things in here, but I'm going to just show you the basics that you need to know. First of all, this preview menu shows that we are in uncompensated color mode. If it's going to be used with Windows standard color as opposed to Mac color, which does differ slightly, or use a color profile, this is where you'd change it. I'd leave it as uncompensated for now. And it tells you that with the size of the pictures, this is how long it would take download time. 28 kilobits per second. Alright. So I'd really leave that alone. We are in custom mode. Now there's some presets in here for GIFs. 128 no dither. I would either choose custom or just choose GIF 128 dithered. Over here to the right, you can optimize to file size. I know you can't read that entirely, but I would not choose that if you're a beginner. I would leave the defaults here. We've chosen to make it a GIF. You can make it a JPEG. I'd leave this as selective. Colors and dither. The reason it picked the dither as 88% is because we chose this preset. Matte is white. And here is the crucial one you want to remember. You could leave everything else as default, but if you just click animate, now it tells you the original image size, the new size, it's constraining the proportions. I'd leave all these as defaults. I'd leave it as a loop, and I would not mess with this preview in. But it tells you here 1 of 15, that there's 15 layers that it's going to animate through. Gives you a little bit more information about name of the file, it's a GIF, the size, 128 colors, 88% dither. That's what this meant up here, 128 colors, 88% dither. That was the preset. Now each of these, if you go through them, it gives you an opportunity to make changes. You see? Alright. So once you have it how you want it, what we're going to do is hit OK. Because each of the frames is what you have the ability to adjust. Adjust your settings for each of the frames. But once you select one, it should default all the rest to those same settings. Once you have it how you want it, we're going to click OK. Leave it as, name it whatever you want. Hit save. And now, if we go to our desktop, see how it animated through each of those frames? Now you see in this case, it looks cool, but not everything that has multiple layers is going to look good animated through, because you need to have each of the images look like they're closely related to the other. I'll show you what I mean. Like if we had gone to, let's close out of this one. I'm not going to save the changes. I'm going to go to the organizer. I'm going to pull another multi-layered one like this stickman we worked with. Pull him into the editor. I'll do the same thing with him. Now you notice he's got multiple layers also, but it's not necessarily going to look as good as the other. So if we go to Save for Web, animate. Remember, you can leave most of these as all defaulted. Now, in the other case, with the other picture, we weren't given this option, but here is something else that you're going to want to adjust. The frame delay. That means how quickly do you want to see each frame? Right now it's defaulted to 0.2 seconds, but if you made it longer, it's going to look like the animation is slower. So, and obviously if you reduce it, it's going to go much quicker. So, I just want to make sure you saw that. And obviously the loop we mentioned before, that's just going to keep looping through, and it's not going to stop at the end. Animate once and then stop. So let me show you this. If we hit OK, this is mainly why I brought you back in here, to show you the frame delay, which wasn't available on the other picture. If we hit OK, and I've already saved this, so I'm going to just write over it as doll. Alright. Replace. It's saying I already have a file for this. Now, if I click on the doll, See how it's rotating through each of the layers? But in this case, it's not really making sense because this wasn't meant to be an animation. So not everything that has layers is going to look good animated. But if you are going to use it for the web, this, like I said, it gives you some settings you can change and create a GIF to publish on the web. And it's just going to keep rotating through until we stop it. So have some fun with that. If you are an artist, you could scan some photos in, and or if you could create them within elements of your own art, and then animate that. So have some fun and animate away.